Hi, I'm Massimiliano, but you can call me Max. I'm a filmmaker and a writer, but please check out the links to my work and credentials in the description below. Okay, so let's talk about storytelling. In fact, I hope that my words will give you that extra oomph that you need to write your book, movie, TV series, and whatnot. I want to assume that you're a creative person, and one way or another, you always write. Short, long stories, scripts, and why not? You're even an idea generator, but you don't know what to do with the material that you generate. Perhaps you have started writing something right now and then you just got stuck. Well, you're in the right place because I'm going to tell you my way of starting something and finishing it, because I always finish what I start. So let's get to it. I'm not claiming that after this chat you're going to win an Oscar or anything of that kind. You still could though. No, my intention is certainly motivational, but surely to impart techniques that I've learned. Some could be obvious to you, and hopefully others will be very useful indeed. Now, why I'm the right mentor, teacher, tutor, coach for you? Well, like me, you have read them all. Stephen King on writing, Robert McKee's story, Sid Field's screenplay, John York Into the Woods, Blake Snyder Save the Cat, and the list can go on and on and on and on and on. They are all very good, and if you're a beginner, they're certainly indispensable, so please do read them. However, like I said, they're great theories, but they're still theories. Instead, I'm offering my way of writing story, something that I use successfully with my short films, which you can find in this channel, my scripts, which are still in development, and a novel that I'm editing right now. I want to emphasize that I'm not trying to teach you what to write or how to write your film idea or book idea or any other idea. I'm here to tell you how I do it without fail. So, without further ado, let's get started with the idea. Yeah. Ideas, eh? They come from anywhere and everywhere. When you wake up in the morning, whilst you're talking to your loved one or friends, whilst walking, jogging, playing sports at the pub, anywhere really. Our mind works in mysterious ways. Just make sure that you're ready when that damn erratic piece of machinery between your ears starts spewing out stuff to you. Do not be unprepared. So make sure that you always bring with you a notebook and a pen. Well, if you were born before 1985, of course. Everyone else, slightly younger, you should be able to record your thoughts on your device, telephone, whatever. However, you gotta be organized. Make sure that you file these ideas somewhere safe, in a physical, digital folder. And if there are more ideas connected to this specific one, the one that you chose, add them to it in time. Otherwise, make a new folder with new ideas and move on. By the way, a little piece of advice. When you get to write your short film, long film, short story, or novel, don't forget to always keep that very first original idea in mind, even if it was just rough. What I mean is that very first sparkle that came to your mind, that concept that made your heart pump faster when it came to you. I'm saying this because when you add more scenes and concepts and whatnot, it is easy to muddy up a perfectly fine idea, especially when it's simple and effective. Now, going back to the original point where I said that idea comes from anywhere and everywhere, I'm going to tell you how my ideas for Respect 101, Happy Birthday My Dear, but also a still unproduced TV series called Little Red Bloody Herrings came from.
Welcome to Respect 101, the only academy where you either learn or you die.
No, please don't! Okay. Years ago, Stephen Rangot, DOP of this project, asked me if I had any ideas for a new short film. I sent him a few paragraphs. Were mostly fleshed out paragraphs. However, one of them was just a line, which was saying, an old man is staring at the camera, or something like that. Stephen came back to me and said that he liked pretty much all of them, and surprise, surprise, the one about the old man wasn't quite that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't understand. What are you trying to say?
It was right, but there was something that was ticking and ticking in my head, which was saying, I need to tell the story of this man. I know the other ones, I know the other paragraphs that I sent them, and that a little bit fleshed out, but this man staring at the camera, it was more interesting to me in ways that I didn't understand at the time. But because I didn't have a story as such, the first thing that came to me instead, it was the ending, where, and the moment I figured out the ending, I went back and I wrote the whole story organically, and that's how I've done it.
Hello?
Mrs. Jackson.
Yes?
I am, and
Have been for many years your husband's lover.
Happy Birthday, My Dear was an idea that came from a story that I heard. Someone told me that a lady got a telephone call from a friend who put doubts in her head about her husband. Of course, things like this normally escalate. In this person's case, did not. In my short, you betcha.
This is what I think of you. Don't laugh at me.
Little Red Bloody Herrings is an unproduced 8-part TV miniseries which was in the list of 2019 Film Market Hub Best Scripts and was also included in the 2020 UK online Pitchbox scripted series in the special mentions. It is a murder mystery that is based on stories that I wrote when I was a teenager and in which I was killing, well, I didn't kill them, I promise, all of my friends. Of course, the version that I did, it's based on that, so it's a 10.0 version of that basic story. So, although I would have many more examples, including a 600 pages novel that I'm now in the process of editing and other unproduced scripts, I just wanted to give practical examples of where and when you can get ideas. Anyway, there will be a moment when you think that you have enough stored in your folders that will make a great tale. Maybe you have an entire world in your head, but you still need an important ingredient: characters. For characters, it helps to write a paragraph or even pages about each of them. Something will always come out for sure. People you meet, or you met, or you know right now, or you have read about recently on newspapers or non-fiction books. Combine their personalities and switch genders if you need to. Play around, have fun. Whatever you do, ask yourselves these questions as well. Who is your protagonist? What does he/she does as a job? What are their hobbies? Do they have special skills that may be useful later on in your stories? Why are they heroes or anti-heroes? Give them something, a limp, anything, that they must overcome so that they can change later on. Change is important. It's key to stories. You should ask yourself who they're going to be when everything ends. What's their aim, their goals, what makes them tick, and so on and so forth. And whether they self-sacrifice, trying to help somebody, try to gain somebody's trust along the way, love, battle, anything, you name it. As a writer, you must know your characters inside out. The same way you should know your brothers, sisters, friends, and even your worst enemies. Enemies or nemesis, you always need one or more. Besides, it makes an audience or readers connect with your protagonist. We all like main characters who win at the end or die in trying. And if they're anti-heroes, we still like them when they end up doing something good. And by the way, enemies are not always people or living things. Many times, enemies can be represented by society issues, events, which seem unsurmountable at first, or literally close to impossible for the heroes. When the payoff happens, then we, as an audience, we feel involved, engaged, moved, and so on and so forth. Okay, next thing to do, it's naming your characters. Yes, you do need a great name. Whether you like it or not, names define our lives, and you see all the time in books, films and stuff, a name that stick out, and you really imagine stories happening in your head, and you already see the person coming before he's coming. Names are this important. Read non-fiction, books, newspapers, or better, go outside, open your eyes and ears like you've never done before. You'll find the most unusual names that maybe they are not going to be useful right now, but they may be later on. Okay, now let's talk about another great part of idea process, or my idea process anyway. I never start working on an idea until I have a clear ending in mind. Now, what I'm about to say, it might sound slightly dramatic, but bear with me for at least a minute while I'm trying to give you my next 2 cents. So when you write your story, you have to think yourself as a captain of a ship full of people. It is dark and stormy, and your ending is your lighthouse. It's a lighthouse a bit far away and is your only beacon of light. You may not necessarily get back to shore in one piece with everyone. You know that already. You have to make sacrifices, compromises. But that light down there, it's your hope, and it's guiding you. And of course, the ending eventually may change. But you have tricked your mind to at least go ahead and finish, conclude, whatever you want to call it, your book, screenplays, whatnot. Okay, so this is pretty much what I want to say about ideas. Now, let's move on to the next topic. And before doing that, perhaps let's get a cup of coffee, cup of tea, change of attire, structure and plotting.